Welcome, welcome. It's your boy. It's MarkN, Trini boy extraordinaire. You know what it is. It's supposed to be the big one, the one where we say Trinidad is about to go to the World Cup, 3 points guaranteed. We already got 3 points against Jamaica, except we just got 1 point, a draw that got us out of contention for the World Cup. This round, it's not at all what we wanted to see, guys. And I would say to you all, it's disappointing, but of course, it's the reality. Too little, too late. Maybe I would say it was a good try, a good attempt from nothing to something. Because let's be honest, guys, we never really had much going on for the last decade, especially the last 18 months in Trinidad and Tobago football. And when I say this to you guys, I say this because there's a lot of people going to come out and say all sorts of interesting things that they have the brilliant plan, they know better, they would have made a better decisions, they would have done things differently, but we are where we are, guys. And some of these people saying these things, they've been in the position for 10 to 15 years previously. And of course, there's a new guy, and he's only been there for a year and a half, and the job has been seemingly difficult for him. It's not been the best start, but it's not been the worst start. And I would say this because if you look at the team that finally came together, if you look at the fact that we finally approved the grandfather's law, I would say that this administration, the TTF of the TTFA, has been doing a decent job. It's not the best, they're not amazing, but they're getting things done and it's moving in the right direction. And of course, as a Trinidadian football fan, this is what you're looking for. And we do have the match against Bermuda tomorrow, guys. And I'm telling you, it should be 3 points guaranteed, but you never know what could happen. But at the same time, we must secure those 3 points. Those 3 points are not just a regular 3 points. And of course, the group qualification for World Cup 2026 might be over for now. Miracles do happen. You never know who could get disqualified, and having 9 points might just give you a shot. But it's more important for 2030. And the reason why I say 2030, guys, is because there has been the developments that we've spoke about on this channel multiple times. And when I say that, I'm talking about the launch of the Dortmund Academy Caribbean in Tobago. They have also included 4 schools from Trinidad's 4 small clinics into their ranks so far. More to come. Of course, they have the Caribbean franchise, so I expect it to spread to the different islands. This is just one facet of grassroots development that will make a huge impact in Trinidad and Tobago. And of course, as we face Bermuda tomorrow, we would know them as the Whipping Boys. They just got 7 from Curacao on Friday night when we drew 1-1 with Jamaica. Jamaica has a big test tomorrow when they face against Curacao because losing means they go to the playoffs. And if it's anything to be seen, Nigeria is not in that such a good place. They lost to Gabon today. So there's a lot of good teams that got knocked out. And of course, for Trinidad and Tobago fans, it's very disappointing and we expected to do better. Maybe we should have. Maybe we should have won our home games. And we can say that with chest. We can say that and be righteous in saying that. But at the end of the day, this squad is very young and very inexperienced. But we have seen very good structure, very good performances, for the most part, lacking clinical finishing. But at the same time, we have seen a system, a style of play from Trinidad and Tobago that we have not seen in years. I'm not going to shout on Angus Eve because he did a decent job getting this thing on the road, the ball rolling. But Dwight Yorke really did take this team up another level, guys. And when I say that, if you look at when he took over a year ago, to now, we have improved drastically. We play very good football. We have a clear plan of attack, a clear way we want to play, and a clear identity of our style. And that's very important to take forward. And of course, guys, the road to 2030 begins now. It must, it certainly has to. And if you're interested, guys, this is where we begin. As a Trinidadian, wherever you are in the diaspora, wherever you are in Trinidad and Tobago live, you want to see Trinidad move forward. You want to see us progress. And progress means we have to plan ahead. And right now, there's a lot of people with a lot of ideas. And of course, we should all listen to their ideas because every single idea counts. You know, and in this one, it is a match preview, but let's leave the starting 11 for now because there's going to be changes going forward. This is Kevin Molino's last game. And of course, for me, I think Molino deserves a brilliant send off, and the boys should get the job done for him tonight. Of course, we're going to see what's happening there. And I'm not going to take away from the Olympic under 23 squad, my bro. I think that's one thing to consider. Of course, that's going to be coming up soon. And a lot of these guys like Spicer and of course Seeley and of course the young Mitchell, Roald Mitchell, they will all be able and eligible to play for that under 23 Olympic squad. Will this be a springboard for Trinidad and Tobago to take themselves to World Cup 2030? I certainly hope so. And of course, thank you for my Jamaican brother in the background. I know Jamaica has a difficult game. We will talk a little bit about that. But I do think Jamaica has what it takes in the office to get the job done. Of course, they're playing in the office. It's work and they will do the job. And that's just what I think. But I'm just focusing on Trinidad and Tobago right now because I know everybody wants some form of answer. Everybody wants some form of suggestion, a brilliant idea that gives them more hope. And I'm saying we got to do it the old fashioned way, guys. There's no trick to this, there's no quick fix to what's happening with Trinidad football. It's been 18 to 20 years of rubbish, of malpractices. So we can't just look at the current TTFA staff who's been there for about 18 months and say it's their fault that Trinidad is in this situation that we're in today. It's been something that we have been putting ourselves into for a long, long, long time. You know what I mean? And everyone, even our Jamaican brethren, they certainly pulled no punches on the rivalry, but they all say the same thing. They love what Dwight Yorke is doing with Trinidad and Tobago. And of course, guys, I certainly like it too. Dwight Yorke being my legend, my favorite baller. I'm a Manchester United fan as well. So, he is that guy because he came from home. You know what I mean? You can't get a better role model than this guy. He is the machine. He knows what it means to play at the highest level, and he knows how to prepare to play at that level as well. And you have seen the drastic improvement. I have friends, Waffled On and the like. Of course, my boy Bali Tech, he's not here tonight, but he will probably pop through at some point. But Bali Tech he was there with me with one of our first games and watching the Unity Cup and watching Trinidad in this qualifiers is two different things. It's like chalk and cheese. And of course, all the Trinidadians, you know that statement. We look like a bag of guys trying to play football, but now we look like we're actually playing the game, and it gives you so much hope, so much confidence. Everyone knows that I was definitely saying, yeah, we're gonna go, we're gonna qualify, but that's because I was seeing positive things, just like each and every one of you. And now it may not be Trinidad and Tobago, it might not even be Jamaica, because Curacao came from nowhere, nowhere, and they came prepared. And of course, they're missing their national coach. He's not scheduled to be at the game because he had some personal matters to attend to, leaving the camp 2 days ago. And that makes things very much interesting because Curacao, being a decent team, they're going into the office. And a lot of people might say they are one of the best teams in this qualifying phase, but they're not really. And let's be honest, they have a very good team, solid structure, and all those things. But Trinidad, when you watch the game, when they play Trinidad, who has a much more inexperienced team in terms of where the players play football, you would tell yourself they got lucky 2 times not to lose against Trinidad and Tobago. And I mean, it may not be that ratification or that something that makes you feel a little bit better about the fact that we're not qualifying, but that again, it is the truth. It is the stone cold truth. And right now, we need to focus on moving forward, guys. A lot of people will say all these different things, and they're going to say that they have all these different ideas. But right now, the system that we have, it's working. Of course, there are other facets that need improvement. Of course, the women's side of things needs to face some sort of light. But at the same time, looking at the fact that Angus Eve was hired and resigned 20 days after becoming the manager of the women's coach, I would say to you guys, there are some problems underlying in that women's team, maybe bigger than just the fact that the TTFA has not been, fully absorbed with their efforts and issues as they are with the men's team. And of course, I'm not saying that that's the right thing, guys. Let's be honest. You always need to share the love around, and we have a bunch of different teams, not just the senior men, senior women's. There's the under 17s, under 23s, and there's always the female teams. And guys, we need to pay attention to this, but at the same time, you can only start from one point. And I know a lot of people will take a grievance against me by saying this, but they started with their focus on the men's team. Of course, that's where most of the money comes into Trinidad football for the men's senior team. And of course, we might want to say all sorts of different things, but you got to focus there because this is where the private investors are investing first. And then when you get that program working well, you work on the next program. And we can see that with the women's team as they have hired a brand new coach. Of course, he's not yet fully stabilized there, but we spoke about him a month and a half ago before the friendly against Jamaica. And he's an interesting character, guys. Let's make no mistake. Of course, we have to see about the under 23s, the under 20s, and the under 17s as there are tournaments going on right now. And guys, this is something that must be done and must be done continuously, and things must be put in place so that these things are generated automatically. Of course, we're going to need to work on funding. These are issues that are facing the federation. Right now, we're currently depending on funding from FIFA and the government, but sometimes that's how it goes, guys. After facing all the sanctions we've faced, and of course the pro league of Trinidad and Tobago, not what it used to be, now more semi-pro than pro, with mostly 3 or 4 big clubs now. Back in the day there were 6, 7, but now they're like 3, 4 really professional clubs that really can say we're professional in the pro league. And this takes away from a lot of the development of Trinidad and Tobago football and gives us reason to why we had to move to the foreign base side of things by bringing the grandfather law into place. Now, Bermuda is by no means anything other than the whipping boys. And of course, they have shed the weight of some of their older players, and now they're playing a pretty much younger team for the future. Well, that's not going to be the case for Trinidad and Tobago in this final game because, you will see the likes of Kevin Molino and 1 or 2 others who will be making their final appearance for Trinidad and Tobago as a representative as the baton is passed to the younger generation. Yeah, I say 6, 7, of course, bro. You know what I mean? It's like, it's what it is, bro. Take it not to heart. You know what I mean? But at the same time, guys, what's next for us? We play Bermuda. We should make sure and focus on 3 points. Let's get the job done. Let's finish the qualifiers. Whether it's 9 points in third, it's better than 5 points any day of the week. So let's move on with that. But now, Bermuda, what can I say, guys? They didn't do us any favors. Jamaica didn't really do us a favor either. I'm not gonna be too mad at my Jamaican brethren, but they should have got that win away against Curacao or draw at least, guys. Come on. You know what I mean? It was very disappointing. And when I say this, I say this with the most respect. You're the best team in the Caribbean side of CONCACAF right now. Some people might be saying it's Curacao, but they're purely stating that based on the paperwork of the players who play in the Eredivisie. We all know that Jamaica has been running the show for the last decade, and of course, we expect much better from them. And tomorrow, I certainly expect Cephas to do the same thing he did against Trinidad and Tobago, but multiple times. I do expect the Sean Whisper to come into that team and provide that energy that they were so lacking. Of course, people might complain that Jamaica came to Trinidad and they parked the bus, but against this Trinidad team, I think that was the best idea for McLaren. If you had came out to Trinidad to exchange blows, I think it would have gave Trinidad the victory that they so needed. So maybe you might be mad at me for saying this, but yeah, you do have some individuals, bro, but you have to remember this team is not is some of the best talent that Jamaica's assembled in a long time. They haven't all gotten to play together as long as they should, and the team is continuously evolving, just like the Trinidad team was. So you need to give it some time, guys. I know you guys are not fans of McLaren. I can't be mad at that, but I would say to you guys, maybe he might come good, and it all depends on how much time and the team has to spend together and gel. And I think when that happens, this Jamaican team is going to be a force to be reckoned with. They're already a force. I think they're going to be way better because a lot of the things with they might be some average guys in the bunch, bro. Let's not say that they're super. They're not. We're not saying that, but there might be some guys. But most importantly, bro, they're not all playing the way the manager wants them to play. And that's why you see the fracture here and there in certain positions. That's why the midfield is not working so well for you. I think the manager expected one or two players to be into this team that he called up that are not there that would have probably made a bigger impact in your midfield. But, you know, yeah, it's difficult. I can't say exactly that I don't agree in the sense that Jamaica shouldn't be performing better and more teamwork should be seen from their performances. But what I would say to you is that sometimes when you have a new coach trying to do something different and you have players who are not really with that, it can look like that. You know what I mean? And when I say that, guys, just remember for Trinidad fans, if you looked at Trinidad and Tobago under Angus Eve, there were many times that we had played slightly different formations, but the same players, and it didn't really look good at all. So it's one of those things where I feel like, yeah, maybe we can change. Maybe you change McLaren, you improve, or maybe you stick with him and you still improve. You know what I mean? How many of them could make that Trini team on tryouts? I think your Jamaican players could make the Trini team, bro. I'm not even going to lie about that. I think they're definitely guys who can make that Trini team from the Jamaica squad. Your defensive players, I would say, definitely can make my team. We're short on defenders right now, bro. I don't know if you know, but we played Trinidad for a long time in this campaign. It worked for us in some games, but it didn't work for us in some games, if you know what I mean. We've had some mistakes in the defense that let goals open. Andrew Raymond, I don't think he's better than your defensive unit that you have. I think anyone from Jamaica starts ahead of Andrew Raymond. That's just my honest opinion. He might not like that, but it's the truth. He loses focus in a lot of moments and he does the wrong things. There are some moments where you have to bring a player down. You cannot track him all the way to the box and then try to make a challenge all the time. Sometimes you have to take that yellow card. And the Jamaican players, they are very good at doing these things. They stop that play from the moment it happens. It doesn't get dangerous. And there's where I could say that, maybe you have a better defensive side. Your goalkeeper, I think it's better than ours. Denzel Smith is very good, but he makes some silly mistakes. That goal against Cephas I would blame him mostly for that because he kind of still thought that there might been a foot getting onto that ball. He took a lot. He should have come across his goal a little bit and they would have given him all the reach he needed to save it. I think your goalkeeper would have saved that easy. Shout out to Kingley in the building. But I'm not here to crucify Denzel Smith. I'm just saying, Cephas definitely gets in our team. I might have to put him on the right side because I pretty much think, yeah, I like Spicer, and he may not be as quick as Cephas. I think he's a terrorist on that left side. So I would probably stick Cephas on the right of my team. He might be mad at me, but I think he will do a good job anyways because he looks like he can, play left and right. You know what I mean? It's interesting. You know what I mean? We should do a combined Jamaican Trinidad 11. You know what I mean? But let's see how it goes because I still think you guys qualify. I would actually go on a limb and say that I think Jamaica is going to beat Curacao, maybe 3-1, if not 4, in the office because, yeah, Curacao is a decent team, guys, but their biggest thing is the midfield. They try to slow you down there. And if you try to, and the way Jamaica plays, they play more to the wings. And with Cephas, I think that's a huge problem for Curacao, especially in the office. Maybe on that turf pitch in Curacao, you guys did not have a good night. These things do happen, but with the likes of Leon Bailey coming back, with the likes of the youngster who used to play for Aston Villa, I believe. He's now in Saudi. He's back now. Damari Gray. Yeah, Damari Gray. I think he would make a big impact in that game against Curacao. He might even get a goal for you guys. Curacao is not the best team. They are a threat from long distance shooting. Of course they are. But yeah, I don't think I think they're solid in their defensive structure. They do pass the ball well. But there's some moments where if you get past their midfield, I think you can take them out. And maybe Cephas is that key for you. You know what I mean? I would also play Deshaun Whisper. I don't know about you guys, but I love a guy who's like a metronome. And when Deshaun Whisper is in your midfield, your team ticks and they move with a rhythm. It's kind of the way Trinidad and Tobago plays when we have Kevin Molino in our midfield. We look like we're constantly moving the ball going forward. Of course, the youngster Jesse Malikan, he came in and was taking over our team. So I think the Trinidad and Tobago team is in very good hands with Jesse taking over for Molino. But it's left to be seen. I think we need that youngster Roy Mitchell to start showing up and start making his presence known up front. And maybe we put Levi to the right. I think Levi certainly did his best, but he was unable to score. And I put no qualms on Levi. He's a hard worker. He's a very talented player. But I would always, in my heart, feel that Levi is better off the right. Whether it's the left or the right wing, he's better there, not at the striker. So I think that was one of the things where Trinidad was lacking the most in this tournament. A straight out striker, real clinical, prolific type guy. And of course, we had Obi Kugu, but I don't think he's that prolific. And then he got injured. So it made it very difficult. Ron Mitchell almost made history, guys. You might laugh at me for saying this, but in that game, in that moment where he pulled up and made a face plant, I thought if he hadn't pulled up there, he was clean through on goal. And if you know Royal Mitchell, that's a goal he scores with his eyes closed, guys. He's done it so many times for Red Bull FC Next in the MLS Next League. He's done it so many times, but that wasn't to be. And maybe it was meant to be that way because these things, you know what I mean? Other than an act of God, you don't know what to say caused that injury, that pull up he pulled up in that moment and caused him to retire from the game. I would say to you guys, Trinidad football has a much brighter future than a lot of people think. But now we need to put in the groundwork. Jamaica did a lot of groundwork in their national football, covered all across if you look at the Jamaican League, it's a madness right now. It's where the Pro League of Trinidad and Tobago was 15 years ago. It's probably the best league in the Caribbean right now. And it's very well done, very well organized. Maybe we need to take some advice from these guys because they know what they are doing and it's certainly improving. And you can see it with the quality of players coming up and going abroad from Jamaica. They didn't used to produce that much homegrown talent before, and they're starting to do it now, guys. So take notice, Trinidadian fans. Shout out to Chorus in the building. Levi has been unlucky. Chorus wants him to score, bro. You and me as well. I think he definitely deserves a goal. I think a lot of people will criticize Levi unjustly. They might think it's just to say that, he just couldn't score. He missed this and maybe not good enough. But for me, honest to tell you the truth, I think he worked really hard to create chances for Trinidad and Tobago and was unlucky not to score. And yeah, it hurts because we're out. But I mean, we need to go forward. And to go forward, we need to look to the youth. And there are a lot of talents. There's not only Royal Mitchell. I mean, if we can get this guy, Antoine Hockford will be a very, very good competition for Royal Mitchell. And, we're going to see the best man win. And whoever wins, Trinidad scores goals. Trust me when I say that. And of course, there's some other talent coming up in the different areas of the pitch. You have another young goalkeeper applying his trade in Germany, not too far from where I am at. You know what I mean? He plays for my home city team, which is Fortuna Dusseldorf. And of course, he's in the academy. So years to come, and we still have time. So guys, when I say this to you, our World Cup dream for 2026, it might be over, but the dream for 2020 begins now. Yeah, and if you're with me, let's go. Let's chase this dream together. Let's give all the best support, ideas, creative inspiration that we can to the TTFA, to Dwight Yorke, to everyone involved in football, and let's come together and make it something. Yeah, we can't. It can't be like the back in the days where we leave it to the guys in the federations and whatnot and hope that they are going to do the best job because they should know how, because we have seen in the past lots of people who've worked in the positions where they could make change, they have not effected the change. And then when someone else takes over from them, you hear them going on their tours and talk shows saying, well, these are the issues that we are facing right now. But if I was there, I think we should be doing something like this and something like that. And that is very cool. But you don't say that in criticism of the guy who's there now, because realistically, when you were there, you did not install any of these things. And I reiterate this by saying, we need to move forward from a lot of the old archaic ways of thinking. And when I say that, a lot of the guys who've had their time 10, 15 years in charge of the TTFA, this, that, and the other, football in Trinidad and Tobago, it's time to move to the new generation, guys. And I'm saying this in the nicest way possible. I'm not saying I am not happy for their contribution, because I grew as part of their contribution. But now it's time for new ideas. Yeah. New ways, new thinking, new theories, new chances, and new visions. And the reason why I'm saying this is because when you look at what Dwight Yorke is doing, it's something very different than we've been doing before. We play a back three. We didn't used to play a back three, guys. You know what I mean? So times change, people change, things change, but progress is made. And when I say that, guys, I mean, look at it. We are all Trini. We are all one. And we all want to go forward. We want to go to the World Cup. And the only we can do that is together, guys. We could sit here and say they're private members of society would love to invest in football, but if they have not already invested, and they want to, then we have to convince them somehow. We can't just sit here and say that it's going to be done. You know what I mean, guys? We have to come up with a plan. And I mean, I do have some ideas. I'm pretty sure each and every one of you has ideas in which we can, move Trinidad football further forward, better, have things in more of a professional way. Maybe we have people have ideas that could turn our pro league into a real professional league where the players who play in this league don't have to do another job, just play football, and they earn decent amounts of money. And when I say decent, you know what I mean? Maybe 20, 30K a month TT. I think that's the least they should be earning as a footballer playing in the professional leagues. But we will see. We will see. And yeah, chorus. I see York taking our team straight to the World Cup. I was shocked that we didn't get that win on Friday, bro. And maybe it's because I woke up late and I didn't see the first 20 minutes. The extra energy wasn't there for the team, but I can't take the credit for that, because then it'd be my fault that we didn't win. And yeah, I don't want it to be my fault, bro. But yeah, I think we as a people, we need to see the amazing things that Dwight Yorke has done, and we need to promote him. We need to tell everyone that, listen, the TTFA, whoever is involved in sport, TT, the Minister of Sport, the President, Dwight Yorke must stay. Yeah, give him a 5 to 10 year contract. Matter of fact, just give him a 10-year contract. You know what I mean? Let's go to the next World Cup. Let's start this dream now. Let's be prepared early, and let's not be one of those times where we're saying little, too late. Because of course, a lot of people are going to say these things. A lot of people are going to make criticisms about better players in the team, but where are those players coming from? You know what I'm saying? So we can sit here and criticize and say that, oh, this would have been better, that would have been better. But what we have seen so far is a lot better than what a lot of people have expected in terms of performance. Because it's been a long time since a Trinidad team has performed for 90 minutes the way these guys have performed. And their performances drew everyone to the stadium to sell out stadiums and sit there and watch them live. And of course, we want to see that going forward. And not only that, but we must prepare. And we must prepare the grassroots. We must prepare the schools. We must prepare the district leagues and the pro league. And when I say we must prepare, guys, it's because we need to advance. And all the coaches responsible for coaching youngsters, they need to get themselves certified. And I'm saying this not trying to put them in expense, but I'm trying to put them into the professional path that they need to be. They can't coach anyone based on the fact that I know football anymore. We need to be using the right techniques, the best training methods, and of course, gonna need help and advice. And the Dortmund Academy is there. They have all the relevant systems, the relevant techniques, the latest in medical treatments and these things. We need to form a synergy. You know what I mean? And this is the biggest question because watching his interview the other night, I was asking myself, does he want to remain head coach? That's the big question, guys. You know what I mean? And I know Hillcott is saying this because I know Hillcott would love to fire McLaren tomorrow and hire Dwight Yorke. But as a Trinidadian, I will not allow that, Hillcott. I promise you. I will message him in the morning and I will tell him whatever it takes, I will make sure he gets it. Yeah, because he is not going to coach Jamaica. I will not have that. My legend will not coach Jamaica. You understand? I promise you. Shout out to Conrad saying the building. I wish we could take him as coach. Steve McLaren is a dinosaur for Jamaica. Guys, you see the truth. I'm not paying these guys. These guys are just enjoying the stream, coming in, giving their opinions freely because they believe in what they're saying. I don't know about Nash calling it a day, but bro, Dwight Yorke is here to stay. And if I'm the first one saying it, I'm saying it again. Dwight Yorke is here to stay. Dwight, I'm sorry, bro. You got to coach Trinidad and Tobago for the next decade. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, bro. We need you. You know what I mean? We need you. And only with you we can go forward. Unless Trinidad and Tobago has some sort of big check and we go to get someone like a Jose Mourinho who might be retiring from football, you know, club football soon. I mean, then we could be we might be talking something that we might be talking something. But if you're gonna go from Dwight Yorke, you certainly have to go to someone who's very very reputable because I think the quality of coaching and insight Dwight Yorke is giving our young talents is on that level. He may not be that great of a coach yet, but I think he will get himself certainly into the upper echelons of coaching very very soon. So yeah, guys, this is my match preview today. No starting 11. I'm sorry. You know what I mean? It's no for me. It doesn't matter. Whoever starts, get out there, get the job done. Trinidad and Tobago needs 3 points, whether or not we're qualifying for this World Cup, but just to show that we are serious about qualifying for the next one. This is why these 3 points are important. Pride, passion, and heart, guys. Pride and passion. That's all we want tomorrow. You know what I mean? There's nothing more we should be asking from these players just to go out there and do their thing. No pressure, get 3 points. Yeah. Shout out to Hillcott Bent saying, well, I'm hearing differently that if we reach the World Cup, McLaren will be relieved of his duties and Yorke hired. I'm sorry, bro. Wow. Wow, wow, wow. Hey, Hillcott, I'm not going to doubt that, bro. It's possible. It's possible. It's possible, bro. It's possible. Ha ha ha. DJ Madness says, I will disagree if York plans to coach Jamaica. Oh, please. He needs to continue with Trinidad and Tobago. 100%, bro. You know what I mean? DJ Madness, bro. That brother, Roel Mitchell. Jamaica survived that goal, bro. He was going to score goal number 2, DJ. I know you come and you tell me that he's played with the big men and them in New Jersey, bro. But I'm telling you, when he controlled that ball and take that step before he pull up, I thought he was clean through. I was seeing the goal. I was ready to celebrate that. Telling you, bro. Telling you. And yeah. Dead rubbers are hard to be motivated, probably. But oh, but Hookup, what I will say to you, bro, is, it might be interesting what you're saying there, and it's believable because I've been hearing talks of that myself. But what I would tell you is this: we will not allow it. We will not. And I don't think you can compete with us if we tell him we're gonna give him a blank checkbook, bro. You know what I mean? Of course, FIFA points are very important. Don't forget that, people. This is why I'm saying they need to go out there, no pressure, get 3 points. Simple as that. 3 points, get it. And finishing with 9 points means we finish with more points than any other teams in the other groups. Because I think the top team, Suriname, I think Suriname has 7 or 8 points right now, in my honest opinion. I need to double check. I could be wrong, but I think there's 7 or 8 points. So having 9 points, finishing third, of course we finished third, but 9 points puts us in a very good spot, to be fair. And to be fair, guys, we should have been on 9 points long time. We should have been on we should have won the 2 games against Curacao, and I still would feel like that. But yeah, we're not gonna play all reserves, Hillcut, because we need the 3 points, bro. That FIFA ranking needs to go up some places. So yeah, I won't saying play the reserves, but I would say, you know what I mean? Let's see full five substitutions tomorrow. But we need the 3 points. And guys, when I say this, it gets more interesting because if we get 3 points tomorrow, then it's all in the hands of whatever happens. And you never know. There might be a disqualification because in these World Cup tournaments, it's not out of the reach. And sometimes it's always these things. He wanted to score bad and until got in, bro. Brother, shout out to that youth man, bro. And when you see him, tell him I say, bro, it coming to him, bro. He not a worry. Yes, you could see it in him, bro. He a real talent, bro. And he look like he's a prolific guy. So yeah, it's one of those things. I'll be looking forward to that very much, you know. So for me, I'm gonna say this to you guys here tonight. Trinidad and Tobago 2026 might be over, but the dream for 2030 begins now. I repeat again, guys. 2030 dream for Trinidad and Tobago, it begins tonight. You know what I mean? Yeah, I know Yorke wants to coach at the World Cup. He's going to coach Trinidad and Tobago. Brother, I love you Jamaicans, Caribbean family always, yeah. And I real brethren from Jamaica, always my homies. But listen to me. We ain't having that one, bro. Sorry, I can't help it. I would love to. He won't turn it down. He gonna have to, bro, because I gonna be in his message, his DMs, crying, bro. I telling you, bro, every day from now until he signed a new contract for Trinidad, I gonna be in Dwight Yorke DMs. I promise all you, bro. He ain't going nowhere to the Jamaica. We ain't having that one. And then watch me, trust me. Somebody gonna know that I offer him twice or 3 times the money. They can't allow him to make that mistake. Yeah. So what's next for Trinidad and Tobago football? 100% it's the Olympics because that's the next big tournament for Trinidad. So with the Olympics, hopefully we'll see what's going on there and we'll improve going forward for that. But other than that, bro, getting 3 points tomorrow is one of the things. You know what I mean? What? What is that you say there, bro? You guys draw with us a higher ranking team, you could earn some FIFA points. Yeah, Chorus, of course. We will earn FIFA points for drawing with you, of course. And of course, not only that, bro, but we will be earning FIFA points if we win tomorrow. Because remember, the amount of points that you earn in each group directly affects or gives you a ranking. It affects your ranking. So seeing that we'll be on possibly 9 points, I think that does us maybe 2 or 3 places higher in the ranking. Maybe we might break into 98 or 97 in the world and not be 111th anymore. Maybe we might go even higher. Maybe we might go to even 70 something. You never know what could happen, guys. So, yeah, you know what I mean? Chorus, I serious, bro. I will message Dwight Yorke every single day, morning, lunchtime, and in the evening, because he's eat 3 meals. And yeah, every day from now until he sign a new contract, bro. You know what I'm saying? And I definitely think that some private member of the society with a bank check, with a big open checkbook, hey, listen to me. Here, MarkN right now. Get on the phone to the TTFF and offer Dwight Yorke a check he can't refuse for the next 5 years. Do it now. Yeah, I pleading. Whoever is a private member of society that have a fat checkbook with lots of zeros in their account, get it. Do it. Secure Dwight Yorke because our future depends on it. You understand what I'm saying? Saying it again. Yeah. So the those of you in the back, if I come in late in the stream, this is the last thing you hear me say. Get Dwight Yorke a contract he can't refuse. Make sure that he goes nowhere for the next 5 years, at least for the next 5 years. Shout out to Dane WTV, bro. Shout out to you, broski, in the building. Big up to you, of course. You know what I mean? Big up to you, Conrad Smith, as well. And I telling you guys, yeah, I know the Jamaicans want him. They talk about him every day, bro. They can't done talk about how good Dwight Yorke has improved, how much he has improved Trinidad and Tobago. And guys, this is the recipe here. You seen it. You know what I mean? You know when they bring pale out for you to taste the first time, you look at it like, where's that brown rice there? Where's all them thing in there? Eat it. Yeah, you will like it. You know what I mean? Yeah, like you like Callaloo up on here. We can't let Dwight Yorke go to Jamaica, guys. That could be real bad for business. You understand? Real bad for business. But guys, you know what it is? I can't stay too late. I'm in Greece, I'm on vacation, but you know what's going on. I'm in a hotel room. I can't keep talking too loud. The neighbors pounding the walls. But I'll be back tomorrow for the watch along. So if all they're here, they could be here too. Yeah, they don't know that it's 2 in the morning yet that they watch along, but I know. We could be there. We be there. So come, join me. You know what time it is. DJ Madness, this is the promotion here. Yorke needs to continue with the team and also guide all levels in Trinidad. Bro, I have been saying this since they appoint the man. Just let the man be the director of football in Trinidad and Tobago. Give him the post, give him the money, give him what he want. Just tell the man yes. 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 Just tell the man yes, bro. Don't play no games. Yeah. Get Yorke signed. The end. Guys, have a good night. Love you all. Thank you so much for joining me. It's been your boy MarkN, MFC fan. And you know what it is. Smash the likes and subscribe. Soca Warriors, we ain't going to the World Cup today. But guess what, guys? We will be there in 2030. And of course, lots to improve going forward. There's the Olympics next year. We'll be covering that. And of course, the watch along tomorrow. Join me and let's be here to support TNT as we go forward. It's slow and Rodos, bro. And Rodos. It's decent. I'm going to explore tomorrow. So maybe I'll take some video clips and I'll share it with you guys. So I'll do a post probably tomorrow afternoon before the watch along. I'll take some clips of my adventures tomorrow so you guys could get to see what's going on in Rodos. It's a bit decent. It's a nice view and thing. Can't show it. No, it's real dark outside, but yeah, we're going to do that tomorrow. So, guys, again, thank you so much for joining me. Have a great night. I will see you guys tomorrow for the watch along. And of course, I will drop some Rodos clips for you all tomorrow. Peace out, guys.
Baby.